Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I am back with my little crazy quilt tutorial. I am going to show you a couple of the blocks that I made. I will tell you a few things that I learned along the way, and we're going to make a quilt block tonight with curves in it. So excited to try that. First, I had a bunch to trim. I also had one that was in the trim pile, but I hadn't sewn it yet, so I trimmed it without realizing, and then I was like, oh, this one has to be sewn. So one thing that I want to tell you is absolutely for sure, cut your fusible at least a ½ inch bigger than your final block. You really want to be able to trim your block after it's sewn. Say you wanted 6-inch blocks and you just started with a 6-inch square. It's hard to start on the edge and have it look neat and clean. You need to have a bigger piece and, have like a starting area. Then when you trim, the block is nice and neat. I don't know if that made any sense. But all the others were sewn first and then trimmed. So you can see all my edges are nice and neat. Still have some threads hanging out. I can't remember which blocks I made with you. I made this one without you. I remember now because I used some of this black fabric. When you're making a quilt, crazy quilt style, crumb quilt, whatever, scrappy, as long as you try to do 2 or 3 blocks that have some of the same colors, the whole quilt will look cohesive. Now, I don't know if I have any more of this black, but I tried to make some darker blocks. Like these go together better than some of the lighter ones. But let me just continue to show them to you. I feel like I'm all over the place because I'm a little bit tired and there's still threads over here. I think I might have made this one with you. Yes, we did. There's this one. I just really like them. And this with the threads. Did I mention I was tired? So I only have 6 made, but that's okay. We will get it done. So let's make one with a curve in it this time. Glue side up, bring my scraps over here. So what I'm going to do is lay a piece down, and then I will cut another piece with a curve. It could be just like circle, or it could be squiggly. Let's go with squiggly. I think that sounds like a plan to me. Where are you? Do I need to back you up a little bit? No. Do I need to make you go forward a little bit? I want you up close so we can do this together. I'm going to pick something, anything. Ooh, I like this dark, but I'm not going to start with that. Let's just start with a strip like this. And I like brown and pink together. So let's do this, but before I lay it here, I'm just going to cut like a shape. So let's move this for a second. And let's go like, actually this is a very fine piece of fabric. I'm going to take this instead. This is not as fine. That might work a little bit better. So let's just go, I'm assuming that's long enough, way longer than I need probably. And this doesn't have to be this wide, but see, see how cool that's going to be? Huh? And I'm just going to leave that brown that wide. It'll make it that much easier to sew. I'll just trim that after. Okay, so we have this pink and we have that brown, and now we can do other stuff that we want. Let's just let's do like other curvy things. I'm just going to curve this a little bit like that. Looky that. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you is, since these are getting trimmed, it's not smart to leave little pieces like this and put a little triangle there, because that's going to get lost in the trimming and also in the seam allowance when the blocks go together. It's better to just cover it up if you're close to the edge. So let's just do that. These are awfully big pieces. I haven't done this big of pieces before. I'm actually going to trim this just to make room for a different color here, and I want it to stick. And let's go with, I don't know. Ooh, let's get a little burst of funky color like this. I'll trim that after. I'm just going to put that there. I just feel like we don't have enough stripes or things going on. So let's trim this. We can leave that there. This will still go here, but I want to put something else here. Ooh, let's do a piece of this blue. And like that. All right, that'll cover that. That takes care of that. We can always add things on top after too, which is always a cool option. Is this wide enough? It is. Let's go with that. Actually, let's do this one first because it's narrower. And this one. Well, that'll be good. There's not a whole lot going on, but I like it. Heating up my iron. I'll be right back. Should be hot enough. Another thing I want to mention, if you put a really hot iron on the back of this particular fusing, there's different kinds, it will shrink up. It will start to curl up. I touched one with a very hot iron, you know, and I put it on there for a little too long and it started to shrink. So I don't suggest that you do any ironing directly on your fusing. If you really wanted to, you know, take a big piece of fabric that covers the whole thing, then you could press and, you know, to make sure it's sticky everywhere. Let's make one more block together, then we'll sew them, and then I'll trim them, and then we'll look at them. Because making blocks is addictive. Let's do something curvy again. Okay, that's pretty curvy. Let's do something like curvy in a very weird way. Like that. See, there's curves on both sides, so we just need fabric under that. Do a piece of green. I don't need to waste too much green, so I'm going to trim it. So I'll have green, and then this will go on top of the green. I'm liking that. Ooh, I'm gonna do a piece of the darker green. So let's see how we've got this. I have just enough in the middle that it's going to allow the funky piece to stick. That looks like a fish. Well, I'm very close to the edge. Let's move this all down like this. You know what? Everything on this is going just in this direction. I don't know if I really want that. That's not too funky. Let's make sure we have something going up and down. Okay, that's up and down. I'm really going by what fits, not by colors. Okay, that goes up and down. Let's put this guy here with a little bit of a curve. We need a corner. I'm going with it. This is a weird combination, and that's why I like it so much. And let's press. I didn't even mention that part 1 of this series is in the description box down below and also on the end screen. So make sure you go watch it, and this will make more sense. I'll just trim this a little bit, and we're going over to the sewing machine. Before I do that, I forgot that I was trimming before going to the sewing machine. Not all the way up to the fusing, but at least trimming all this because I don't want to ruin these pieces because those are going back in my crumb piles. Whoops. So I don't want to sew over them. Now we can go sew. Let's start with this one, the first one we made with curves. First I'm going to see I have these lines under this piece, so let's take care of this first. So much easier to sew curves when you're sewing on a foundation, and this is what this is acting as, a foundation. Now I'm going to sew this corner. Now we're going to do this nice curve. we're almost done. And this is what we have. And I will be trimming it. Next. Let's go trim these and then I'll show you. I press the blocks before I trim them. It just relaxes all the stitching. And I'm just going to trim these to 6 inches. Look how cool these came out. I know the lighting is not the best. I just love the waviness. It gives so much design, but without using a lot of the different fabrics. You know what I mean? You could use bigger pieces and just make nice wavy lines like that. I really, really love it. And I love this one too. And you know, some might think, well, this is weird. That doesn't belong there. That's the stuff I like. I like something odd, just sticking out with a weird color. I just love this. I honestly wish I had something funky going on the pink. So maybe we'll do some like applique on top. I wasn't going to do any more quilt block videos, but this might take me a couple of days to finish. So I hate to go that long. Maybe we'll do a couple of blocks with applique. I don't know. Next time you see me, I might still have a couple more quilt blocks for you, or we might be just starting to put them together. But no matter what, subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!